back to the My Coach for Life YouTube channel. Now in today's video, I'm just going to share some thoughts around why you're always going to have something to do and why that might be an important thing to accept in your life. So I'm going to start by going back to when I was a professional buyer earlier in my career. And during that time, as you would expect, I had quite a broad range of activities to do, a fairly responsible role. I was buying lots of different products for a power station. So you name it, I was buying it, whether it was stationery, whether it was protective equipment, pumps, valves, motors, you name it. In any given week, I would be responsible for going out for prices, for negotiating lead times and price, for dealing with queries, managing suppliers. So quite a broad range of activities. And when I first took the role, if I'm honest, I wasn't expecting it to be quite as in-depth and have the number of activities that it did. But you know, I figured it out, and after a period of time, I started to find my feet, I started to feel comfortable in the role. And for those of you who know me better, I love time management and productivity. So I started to create little systems and processes and ways to make things quicker and more efficient. But that only got me to a certain point. And you know, coupled with the fact I was also studying for my professional qualification, I was learning the theory. So, you know, what does supply chain management include? What does good procurement look like? You know, I was also then trying to introduce that into something that I'd never done before. So, you know, I got there eventually. And as I say, I felt fairly comfortable. But there was a moment in time, there was this definitive moment. I can't tell you exactly when I kind of, for whatever reason, stood back and just thought to myself, I've been chasing this mystical place, this euphoric place where I'll have no emails to do, there'll be no queries to manage, I'll have chased up all the urgent spares, I will have be able to come in, sit, have a cup of coffee and just kind of take it easy. And it sounds, as I'm saying this out loud, like, why on earth would you get to a point where there's nothing to do? There will always, always, always be something to do, whether it's in your professional career or in your personal life. And that's okay, right? But accepting that was a little bit of a moment. There was a moment of, I've been working so hard to get to this place where I'll literally just be able to slow down a little bit. And I've worked so hard to get these little systems in place and figure out what works best. But then on the other side of that was kind of a relief that if I accept this, actually, that kind of gives me that sense of I don't need to keep chasing all the time. I don't need to keep going and going and going and going, because it's just I'm never going to be in a place where there's nothing to do. There's always going to be. So there was, like I say, an element of relief, but also I've been doing all this hard work and I've kind of mastered the craft, if you will, but it's not what I expected, and I've realized that I was chasing something that's not realistic. So I started to kind of reflect on that and ask myself, well, how do I want to feel? If I'm going to accept the fact that there's always going to be something to do, what does that mean for me? So there were three things that, for me personally, I wanted to feel. The first one was I wanted to feel in control. I didn't want to feel as though I was going to go in one day and something was going to kind of come in from left field and hit me, or I wasn't able to understand what was going on in the span of activity. So I knew that I wanted to feel in control, and in order to accept the fact that there was always something to do, I needed to feel as though I was in control of what was in my span of responsibilities. So the second thing that I felt as though I needed to do was to be able to take a step back each and every week in order to get a full view of all the different activities that I was doing. And again, this might sound really simple, but the fact that I was just go all the time, I was moving from one thing to the next. I never actually took a step back and went, I've achieved that there. Oh, that's kind of gone up a little bit, or that's gone down a little bit. I wasn't actually viewing the full span of what I was doing. And then sat underneath that, the third thing was actually to get into the specific details of, well, I've got that amount of queries outstanding. I've got that number of outstanding orders that I need to chase up. I need to do place that many orders. So in order, if you put that together, getting the specific details of what it is I'm managing and I'm responsible for, then taking a step back on a periodic basis, for me that was weekly, to oversee and look at those numbers, gave me the feeling of being in control and not just constantly looking for this mystical, euphoric place or time when there wouldn't be anything to do. And then the last thing that really helped me in that place, doing all of that, I was able to speak from a place of fact and communicate from a place of fact rather than general language. So my team and I, when we were talking to our stakeholders and the other functions that we were interacting with, were able to say, we're dealing with that volume of workload, we're dealing with that number of queries, we're dealing with that exact number of things, which was beneficial for a number of reasons. We were able to ask for additional support when we needed it because we were able to speak from a place of detail and fact rather than emotion, where others were turning up just saying, we're really, 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 really busy, we need some additional help. So I kind of fell on deaf ears on a number of occasions because, well, what does that actually mean? So that communication piece was almost like a byproduct. I didn't know it at the time, but being able to be in control, have a broad view of everything that I was doing and speak from a place of specifics helped me feel much calmer, less stressed, and also just realize that I was never ever going to get to this euphoric place. So I'd like to just leave you with, if you really wanted to, how could accepting the fact that you're always going to have something to do change your experience either professionally or personally? I hope that's been useful as always. Please don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you again very soon.